All right, so we are now going to do a quick breakdown of the Fantasy Pros projected standings and then take a quick look at essentially, the best projected starting lineup for each team. Sometimes when we're reading these rosters, maybe you'll make a case that another guy should be in the flex, but deal with it.
Deal with it. I like that.
All right, so we started off the draft with Team Cruz, yes? No,
we did.
Yeah, Team Cruz. All right, so where does Fantasy Pros feel Team Cruz?
They have Team Cruz projected at number 2 with an 8-5 record and a 75% chance of making the playoffs.
Championship. And Team Cruz will be rolling out a starting lineup of quarterback Aaron Rodgers, running backs Barkley and Kerryon Johnson, wide receivers Cooks and Kenny Galladay, tight end Njoku, right now flex being Tariq Cohen, and bench would be Corey Davis, Will Fuller, Jordan Howard, Josh Allen, Kenny Stills, Jalen Richard, Jack Doyle.
Yeah, I do not agree that this is the second best team. I obviously like Barkley a lot. I think Kerryon will be decent. I'm not that impressed with Cooks. Cooks and Galladay is not a very strong receiving core. Tariq Cohen is a very weak flex in my opinion. I don't think he's going to have many game scripts. I don't like Njoku. I think he's going to be one of the weaker tight end ones in this league, if he even finishes as a one with all the weapons there. So no, I do not agree. I don't think he's got that great of a bench with Jordan Howard and guys like that. So
we'd say weakness is wide receiver 1, tight end could be, and flex.
And flex, that's a lot. That's a lot to be the number 2 team. We talked about some really strong teams in this league. So no, I don't think he's 2. I think he's on the cusp of being a playoff team. He's in the 6 to 7 range.
Cusp.
Yeah, cusp.
So you're saying there's a chance.
1 in a million.
Dogs 31. Where does Fantasy Pros have Dogs 31 ranked?
Now Dogs isn't on here anymore. Is he the New Era 8? Did he change his team name?
He is. He changed his name to an even worse name.
Oh, well, it's not as bad as Galamet on Wednesdays, which he hasn't changed yet. So, New Era 8 is projected to be 4th place, 7-6, with a 57% chance, which is the opposite of Cruz, 75. Flip them around, 57%. So, give us what we got on.
Well, Dogs before the Damian Williams news, I mean, this could have been really, really scary. And now he's got a quarterback, Russell Wilson, running backs, Alvin Kamara and Joe Mixon, wide receivers, Chris Godwin and Tyler Lockett, tight end, Vance McDonald, flex, Damian Williams. And then on his bench, Robbie Anderson, Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Jackson, Darwin Thompson, Ito Smith, Deshaun Hamilton, Gio Bernard.
Okay. So this team I like it better than Team Cruz. I think they should be flip-flopped. Not quite flip-flopped. I think that New Era so far looks like the 75% team. I don't see a hole on this roster. If Damian Williams winds up being a bum, which we don't know if that's going to happen. So let's just say that he's a blah flex. I think Robbie Anderson is also a good flex. So his flex is the only question mark I see. Vance McDonald, I think, is going to be a solid tight end. Worst case scenario, somewhere in the 6 to 8 range. So I look at this team. I like the receivers in Godwin and Lockett. I like the running backs, obviously Kamara and Mixon. He stole Mixon. Yeah. And I like the quarterbacks. He's got 2, Russell Wilson, Lamar Jackson. So I like this team a lot.
The Damian Williams factor is definitely, big. Even the Vance McDonald. I mean, we're all just, assuming that because those targets got vacated that he's going to,
he's got to stay healthy, but he should be good if he plays. I mean, Big Ben likes to throw the tight end, so we should be good. I like the team.
All right, so third team was Galamad on Wednesdays. I don't want to have to say that team name a single more time. I'm not going to do the podcast.
I'm not. Yeah, we won't do your podcast until you change the names. You will be eliminated. It'll be 11 teams. It's terrible. And South Florida Ninjas, please just call yourself Latino Ninjas and just make it funny, make it something.
We're being reasonable here.
Yeah, we're reasonable people. We're going to give you all this time for free. Give us a fucking name change for the love of God and all that's holy.
So where
do they have him? Number 1, they have him. 8-5.
Championship.
8-5 with 82% playoff odds. Can you give me the starting roster?
Yeah. Quarterback Deshaun Watson, running backs McCaffrey and Kenyon Drake, wide receivers Mike Evans and Cooper Kupp, tight end George Kittle, flex Calvin Ridley, bench Matt Breida, Royce Freeman, Kalen Ballage, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, James Washington, Damian Harris, and Jordan Scarlett.
All right, so I'm going to look at this team, and I'm going to tell you, I love Watson. I love Evans, McCaffrey, Kittle. I like Kupp a lot. I am okay with Ridley. I'm not very happy with Drake, but Breida, Freeman, Damian Harris. I think he makes one of those guys work. And I think that with Valdez on his bench, he's got more depth at receiver to go behind Evans and Kupp and Ridley. It's a good team. Is it the number one team with an 82%? It's probably more like the 75 that Cruz had. But I do think he's a top 3 team.
I'm going to read you
so
this.
far.
I just ask real quick. I want to read this to you again. So his bench is Matt Breida,
Yep.
Royce Freeman,
Yep.
Kalen Ballage, Scantlin, James Washington, Damian Harris, Jordan Scarlett, and he's got the number 1 bench.
Yeah, I mean, Breida's getting a lot of hype. Royce Freeman has a chance to be in a good, Valdez, Scantling's, Damian Harris is one injury away from being a monster. I don't know. I look at that bench. James Washington could be the number 2. You said it yourself. Moncrief isn't very good. He's got a good defense. He's got a good kicker. I mean, he's got a lot.
I feel like there's a lot of could-haves of what could happen if guys go down and da-da-da, which is just surprising that bench would be rated as the number 1.
Yeah.
Whereas some benches, and maybe we'll see, that might have
I think
more.
it's decent. I mean, how many people have Breida and Freeman on their bench? I mean, there's guys that are starting, some real questionable people,
Breida. And Scantlin, obviously, if he ends up being the number 2, and then God forbids Adams goes down.
Yep.
All right, so number 4, our boy El Guapo. What does Fantasy Pros have to say about you?
Number 3, 7-6 with a 70% chance.
That doesn't sound
so
right.
It's 82 for Gallimed, 75% for Cruz, 70 for me, and then 57 for our boy David. So what's the starting
Guapo
lineup?
will be rolling out a starting lineup of quarterback Jameis Winston, running back Ezekiel Elliott and Leonard Fournette, wide receivers Juju and Robert Woods, tight end Jared Cook, flex Marlon Mack. This is making sense. All right. Bench Tyler Boyd, Mike Williams, Justice Hill, Tony Pollard, Kareem Hunt, Greg Olson, Derek Carr. It's a solid team. I'll take this one for you, Wop, so you don't have to. I know how much you hate talking about yourself.
Yeah, I'm very modest.
Nah, it makes sense that team would be ranked. Would you say 3?
Yeah, it says 3. I mean, I gotta say, I think Gallimad's the only team so far that challenges it because there's holes on the other teams and question marks. Listen, Dogs is pretty good.
Especially with Zeke.
Dogs is pretty good, yes.
So Fournette's the big thing here. If Fournette stays healthy, it's going to be very tough because if Fournette gets injured and Justice Hill doesn't work out, then
I'm stuck with Mac.
You could say that you have a weakness. Well,
but then you get Zeke and Mac, and then you throw Mike Williams or Boyd into the flex. It's pretty deep.
It's a solid
pretty
team.
deep. Yeah.
Solid team. All right, Maximus. What do they have to say?
Maximus, predictably, 10th place, 6-7, 32%. I'm not sure how they're giving him 6 wins, to be honest with you. That's one less than all these great teams that we've talked about. So
he's got
32% chance of making the playoffs is less than a third for all those people that didn't do well in math. So anyway, 6-7 with a 32%, 10th place.
So he's going to be rolling out Patrick Mahomes at quarterback, David Johnson and Henry at running back, Keenan Allen and T.Y. Hilton at wide receiver, Trey Burton at tight end, Singletary in his flex. And then his bench, you got Rashad Penny, Golden Tate, Adrian Peterson, Alexander Madison, Jimmy Graham, Chase Edmonds, Rykel Armstead. Well, I just realized, he grabbed like 4 cuffs essentially.
Yeah, I think he's just in panic mode. I got to get somebody with monster upside.
He's looking for he's looking for his James Conner this year.
Yeah,
essentially. Obviously, absolutely, he's got 4 chances at having a very valuable.
Chase Edmonds is his handcuff, but a lot of other guys.
All right. So he cuffed his own guy, and then obviously
Madison and Armstead are his
and Rashad Penny. If Carson were down, who was
3 of them. So 3 big lottery tickets. All right, so I look at this team and I see him where he should be in the stand. I don't see him with 6-7 record. I love Mahomes, obviously. I love David Johnson, Keenan Allen. Worried about Derrick Henry. I agree with you. PPR, I think he's going to be exposed. T.Y. Hilton, I don't think he's the T.Y. Hilton of old. Singletary is your flex. I think that's a big weakness. It's a bad team, bad offensive line. I think Trey Burton is a huge weakness. I think he's a hole. I had him last year. It was like a touchdown or nothing. It was really tough. And this other tight end, Sheelan or whatever, is a better tight end. More prototypical, can block. So I don't think that offense needs him to go out and catch and pass. I think they're going to rather have a guy blocking for Montgomery and protecting the quarterback and letting him throw.
You have Anthony Miller coming in year 3. You have Allen Robinson
and
fully
Montgomery
healthy.
out of the backfield with Cohen. I don't think they need a guy like Trey Burton. He's banged up.
A lot of inconsistency.
I think that there's some holes on this and some concerns, but he does have some monsters with the Mahomes and David Johnson, Keenan Allen.
Absolutely.
Three monsters, and the rest is like really questionable.
All right, Team Bring It.
Team Brilliant, Jamil. He is one ahead of Maximus, very close. 9th place, 6 and 7, same record, 36% versus 32% of making the playoffs. So, give us his rundown his team. For
Quarterback Drew Brees, running backs Le'Veon Bell and Devontae Freeman. That could be really nice. Wide receivers Antonio Brown and Stephon Diggs. That also could be very nice. Tight end Delaney Walker, and in his flex Phillip Lindsay. So if Lindsay has a good portion of that backfield, that could be very good. And then, listen, his bench, Ashlon Jeffrey, Allen Robinson, Marvin Jones, Peyton Barber, Dante Moncrief, Phillip Rivers, Kyle Rudolph.
It's a bench of receivers.
It's essentially a bench of receivers. But those top three names, Jeffrey, Robinson, Jones.
Got a lot of receivers, no doubt about it. And I'm not very excited about Bree. I think Breeze is blah. I'd probably think that Rivers might even be better this year. But anyway, you got to love the Freeman Bell. If they could stay healthy, you got to love that. Antonio Brown was a mistake. Should have taken Juju or Evans, but he still should be good. Diggs should be very good. Jeffrey is the third, and Allen Robinson is the fourth. I like it. Lindsey's the flex. Dude, his numbers last year were RB1.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I mean, look,
flex.
If he stays healthy and his running backs,
Yeah, I think he's better than what they're saying.
Yeah.
I think he's more like
he's got a good
he's in the cruise category.
He's got a good starting team.
Yeah, his starting team's good.
You're always looking
he's got a lot of receiving depth.
Right.
But other than that, he's got two quarterbacks.
But
tight end's a little bit weak.
Week one, if you're like, all right, who does my opponent have? You look at his team. Other than really Delaney Walker, if Breeze has a good matchup or something like that, then you look at his team, you're going, all right, that is scary. I mean, Bell, Freeman, Brown, Diggs.
It's a pretty complete starting team. I don't know what's going to happen with Delaney, like you said, but yeah, I like it. It's better than it says.
What about Frank the Skank?
Frank the Skank?
Did the fantasy pros agree that he's skanky?
Oh my God, they got him right on the cusp of making the playoff. They got him in the 6th right now. He would be in the playoffs. 54%, which is tied with Danny, 5 and 6. So let's see. What does he got? Tell us.
Quarterback Jared Goff.
Stud.
Running backs Josh Jacobs and Tevin Coleman. That could be
good. Could be a headache.
Could be right.
We'll see.
Wide receivers DeAndre Hopkins and Tyreek Hill.
That's good.
That's scary.
Good.
Tight end Zach Ertz.
Awesome.
Flex, you're absolutely right. Hunter Henry would be his flex. And then in the bench, though, listen, he's got A.J. Green that's going to be joining the team at some point. He's got Curtis Samuel, Darrell Henderson, Big Ben, Justin Jackson, Mike Davis, Dallas Goedert.
Yeah, he's got a pretty deep team. I mean, he's got a couple bums in like Goddard and Mike Davis, but other than that, he's got a pretty deep team. The two quarterbacks, he's got some running backs. I'm a little worried about Jacobs. I'm very worried about Tevin Coleman. Not sure what's going on there. Hunter Henry is a flex. Listen, as a backup tight end, it's great, but as a flex until A.J. Green comes back, if he comes back, I guess you can put Samuel there.
Yeah.
So he's got some kind of options. I don't think you're going to want Hunter Henry as your flex, but
listen, his whole team is about his running backs.
Yeah.
I mean, we can focus on the wide receivers. A.J. Green's going to come, Curtis Samuel. What's he do at flex? But the bottom line is it's all about the fact that Josh Jacobs and Tevin Coleman. I mean, if Matt Breida has a larger share of that backfield than maybe what we were thinking during this draft.
Weakens them, unless Justin Jackson or Darrell Henderson
and
can
then
fill
all
in.
of a sudden we are seeing that Jalen Richard is, getting involved on third downs and Josh, so there's this. It's all about his running backs.
They have him at 6. I think 5 to 7 is what I would say. So he's right where he should be. He's going to be a team with upside, but some downside. He's not quite as strong as some of the stronger teams. But
if he solidifies running backs,
yeah,
it's a very, very strong team. Very strong team. All right, what does it say about South Florida Spanish Ninjas?
The Latino Ninjas, it has as the 7 team.
You're making an
executive. Oh, it's a 3-way tie.
You making an executive decision here?
Yeah, that's what I'm calling from now on. Latino Ninjas. There's a 3-way tie between Danny, Frank, and Ninjas. They're all 7 and 6. They're all 56%. So it's very interesting. And David's 57%, only 3 higher with the same record. So there's really almost a 4-way tie between 4 and 7. So tell me what we got with these Latino Ninjas.
We've got quarterback Cam Newton, running backs Chris Carson and Mark Ingram,
beasts.
Wide receivers Michael Thomas and DJ Moore.
Solid.
Tight end Travis Kelce, doesn't get any better. And in his flex will be Austin Eckler, so that's very solid. And then sitting on his bench ready to come in is Christian Kirk, LaShawn McCoy, Michael Gallup, Carlos Hyde, Trubisky, Gore, and Herndon.
I'll tell you what, man, I like this team even better than the last couple. I think this team I would put right next to David, just ahead of Frank, because the tight end is powerful. The top receiver is monster. The running back tandem could be pretty good. DJ Moore, Eckler, Cam Newton would, yeah, I like this team a lot. I like the bench depth. There's a couple of duds, but
It's a solid team.
it's a solid team.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a good team.
Absolutely. Salvatore, New York's finest.
Believe it or not, I know I ripped him and I said this team is terrible, but believe it or not, he's projected for last place. So
I thought you were going to, totally surprise us.
Sorry, I couldn't surprise you. They got him at 5-8, which is, to me, almost impossible. 18% chance of making the playoffs, I think, is optimistic. So anyway, tell us what we got with this guy.
All right, Salvatore's going to be rolling out. Quarterback Baker Mayfield, stud. Running backs Todd Gurley and Melvin Gordon. Wide receivers Thielen and Landry. Tight end Austin Hooper. And his flex will be Darius Geis. And then on his bench will be Sammy Watkins, Sutton, Jamison Crowder, Jimmy G, Jordan Reed, Hines, and Chris Conley.
I don't want to rip this guy anymore. First of all, you said Melvin Gordon's his number 2. He might not play for 10 weeks. So Geis becomes his number 2.
Geis becomes his 2.
And then you got to slip in Watkins into the flex. And
that's the scary thing. Really, Watkins is the only guy you feel like at least has some upside to put in that spot. We don't know what's going to happen with Crowder. Naeem Hines, Chris Conley.
Sutton. Yeah, so I look at this team and I see Baker Mayfield. I like him a lot. I like Gurley, but he's got risk. Adam Thielen with Landry is probably the weakest receiver duo in the league.
Well, I think that's what doomed him.
Taking Thielen instead of taking Juju or Evans was just really, really bad. And then taking Gordon, taking that chance for no reason, Landry. Yeah, it's a tough team, man. It's gonna take a miracle. He's gonna have to find gold somewhere on the waiver wire. He's gonna have to find that Connor, find that Lindsey, and then maybe, hopefully, if Melvin Gordon signs, listen, put him with Gurley.
Oh, absolutely.
Mayfield.
Right. So Gurley is Gurley, and then Melvin Gordon signs or gets traded to a good situation. All of a sudden, hey, he might have 2 top 10 running backs. So that definitely changes.
His receivers are still a little blah.
But the receivers still.
And then Austin Hooper is still his starting tight end. It's like how much high? What's his ceiling?
Right.
So yeah, it's gonna be a tough year for our boy Sal.
What about Jay? What about Jason?
Jay, Jay, I still want to know how many hookers he's had in his room, and how many of them he's tied down. Remember we said that he had tied women down in his room.
Well, yeah, but
strippers,
you
hookers.
Remember, he doesn't pay them; they pay him.
Oh, they pay him.
They pay him.
Oh shit! See, that's what I never got the memo on.
That's the way it works.
So anyway, besides that and him going deep, they got him right now as the 8th best team, just outside of that 4 in a row that were tied.
Not too shabby.
And they have him at 6 and 7 with a 46% chance. So they have him basically almost a coin flip of making the playoffs. So what do we got? Give me his team.
They probably factor in the Asian.
Oh, because they know Asians are smart, and he'll figure out how to turn this horrible draft.
Well, I just assume that fine people at Fantasy Pros are racist, but
well, they should be racist.
Jason's gonna be rolling out quarterback Dak Prescott, running backs Nick Chubb and Dalvin Cook. Studs.
Love it.
Wide receivers Amari Cooper and Julian Edelman. Studs. Tight end OJ Howard. Stud.
Him.
Flex Duke Johnson.
Jeez, I'll tell you what, man. I love that starting team. I gotta tell you, I love that starting team. Give me his bench.
His bench: Dante Pettis, Deion Lewis, Emmanuel Sanders, Tom Brady, Eric Ebron, DK Metcalf, and the Denver Broncos defense.
All right. Well,
remember the defensive depth.
The problem with his bench is obviously not receiver. He's got lots of them. He has no running backs.
He's a little
but he does have 3 starters. So
yeah,
Deion Lewis, I don't even know what the hell he's doing with him. But if Cook stays healthy, Chubb keeps that job, which he should. Fuck Kareem Hunt. Duke Johnson, if he's more involved than just a third down back, then this is one of the strongest teams we've seen so far.
Very good team.
So I like this team a lot. So I jumped this team from a 6 and 7 to one of the 7 and 6. I put them right in there with those other ones. And I think that when it's all said and done with Jay, does his homework and all that, he's obsessed with it. This is his only league. I think he makes the playoffs. Playoffs? You should be.
All right. Danny and Team Broadway.
All right. Danny's listed ahead of Jay. He's in that big tie at 7 and 6, 54%. He's currently tied for 5th with Italian Stallions and the Latino Ninjas. So What do we got? What's Danny's starting team?
Danny will be rolling out quarterback Carson Wentz,
Stud if he
running
stays
backs
up there.
Connor and Aaron Jones. That could
Love
be
it,
very
love
good.
it.
Wide receivers Devontae Adams and D.D. Westbrook. I didn't realize that was his two.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Tight-
He's got Sterling Shepard.
Tight end Evan Ingram. Flex will be James White. And on his bench, Sterling Shepard, Geronimo Allison, Jalen Samuels, Kirk Cousins, Chris Thompson, Mark
I've heard
Andrews.
enough. I've heard enough. This is not one of the better teams.
I didn't get to the best pick of the draft.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, Cobb. Sorry, Cobb. Corn on the cob. So anyway, this is not, to me, this is a team that is too highly ranked on the Fantasy Pros. I got him more as a 6 and 7. So I think Go Deep swaps with him.
Right.
And Go Deep would be in the playoffs. And Danny would be just in the 8 slot looking in. I look at this team. I love Devontae. I love Connor. I love Aaron Jones. I like Evan Ingram a lot. I love Wentz if he stays healthy. But he's not been healthy for 2 straight years. And they did bring in Josh McCown because, they wanted to replace Foles with somebody competent because they're worried about him. I'm James White, like you said. How many game scripts is he going to be involved in?
Yeah,
that's questionable.
yeah,
With the good defense, they improved their defense. And Sterling Shepard or DD as your number 2 is very troublesome.
Oh, Allison.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible, Allison. Right. So, but just the fact that he doesn't have a legit 2 and one of those guys is the 3 or the flex.
Well, and the unknown of Aaron Jones. I mean, Aaron Jones, James White, just right. You could see that going either way. I mean, look, James White was the number 7 PPR running back last year, and at times Aaron Jones looked like he was potential, has the potential to be a top running back. So I would imagine that based off what they do here, Fantasy Pros, they take all these experts and their rankings and so on and so forth. So there's I look at this team, I go, there would have to be a lot of safety built into some of these rankings. Dede, we love his upside, but how do they rank the, you know what I mean?
How do you rank the floor upside?
Right, Aaron Jones, even Evan Ingram for that matter.
Yeah, we don't really know what's going to happen.
Right, we all want to say, he's going to get all the targets, Well, maybe, but Shepard, Golden Tate's going to come back.
He's got Mark Andrews behind him, which I think is
I was going to say, good news is Daniel Jones coming. All right, so I completely disagree, of course, but how does Fantasy Pros have Michael T. Vegas?
Yeah, Michael T. Vegas, horrible name, by the way. It's got to go. It's got to go quickly, please. By tomorrow, I'm begging you. Gallimad too.
Between the name and Matt,
5 and 8 with a 21% chance in 11th place.
Yeah.
All right, so give me the starting team because I didn't see that.
All right, quarterback Matt Ryan, running backs David Montgomery and Sony Michel, wide receivers Julio and Odell Beckham, tight end T.J. Hawkinson, flex Miles Sanders, and see this is where to me I don't know if they're being very conservative with Josh Gordon, but bench Josh Gordon, Latavius Murray, Larry Fitzgerald, Kyler Murray, Malcolm Brown, Hardman, and Darren Waller.
Okay. So let me tell you right off the bat, this is a much better team than they're saying. Like, this is a ridiculous. This is why I've never really been a big proponent of Fantasy Pros, because every time I see things, I'm like, 21%. This is a much, much better team than that. You got 2 monster receivers. You have 2 very good running backs. You have a 3rd good running back, a 4th good running back. You have Josh Gordon, who could be just as good as Odell, if he stays clean. You got Matt Ryan, and you got Kyler Murray. Waller's the tight end. It's not Hawkinson. So I like this team. I'm really not that worried about it, to be honest with you. So I look at it now, and I see Gallimad. I love my team. I like David's team. I like the Go Deep. I like your team. I think you're probably somewhere in the 5 to 7, just like I said before about Italian Stallions and Go Deep. I think that
I'll critique my own team.
It's not 11th place.
Sony Michel's not a big PPR running back. He's injury prone. We don't know what Montgomery. We know the hype, but we haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I've got 2 tight ends that are both young and unproven, so that there's no guarantee that they work out. And then Josh Gordon starts sucking dick for cocaine again.
There's risk, but if he starts sucking dick for crack, I'd applaud him though, because that shows a lot of commitment to your habit.
It's not a quitter.
Like, if we were told we had to suck dick to do our podcast and we did it, wouldn't that tell people how passionate we are about the podcast, or that we're fags? And one or the other. You got Malcolm Brown. I like this team. I got to say, if things don't work out with Sony Michel, you got Miles Sanders. Things don't work out with him, you got Lad Murray. Things don't work out with him, you got Malcolm. There's a lot of depth there, and you got depth at receiver. And I'm a little worried about tight end, but I think Waller will be fine. And I like your 2 quarterbacks. So no, this isn't 11th place. This is a stupid ranking. I don't know what they're talking about.
I'd say the more accurate way to look at this is and I'm not going to say them, but I would say there's maybe 2-3 teams tops that are in a lot of trouble, would need a lot of help, waiver wire moves and things like that. And then for the most part, the rest of it is pretty open, because we've gone through some teams where one by one, you say, okay, well, their starters maybe not so great, but then you look at the bench and you're like, well, this could happen, that could happen, So, give me how about this? Give us the points breakdown, like top team to bottom team.
Oh, that would be.
You don't have to give me each one, but just like the top team is however they figure this point system. But
let me. I think I just shit the bed on that.
Oh boy.
What is it? League Analyzer?
Yeah. Well, no, it's projected standings.
Well, I'm on projected standings, but it doesn't give me any points.
What are you talking about? I got the score. All right, so overall, they've got Gallimat at 1,128 points. The last place team finest is 742. And then, so that even gives you kind of an idea. So last place finest 742, me at 11, 943. And then you got 949, 950, 978, 990, 1,024, 1,030, 139, 148, 1,128. So they have you and Gallimat as, you guys are definitely kind of the top two without a doubt. And then you can kind of almost say 3 through 11, you don't have a huge difference in the overall. So I think it's going to be a very competitive year. And, look, as we all know, championships aren't won at the draft.
Oh, no.
So we got a long way to go.
It started there, but yeah, you got to do a lot of work,
Absolutely.
and you got to hope to not get injuries and
blow the commissioner on the side, for special favors. Well, I never did that. I never did that.
Would you?
I'm just saying. I've heard rumors. I've heard rumors that these things happen. All right, so I think that wraps it up.
Yeah, it's almost midnight, and I'm going to fucking bed.
I think we've covered everything. We've insulted every nationality, in the league and outside of the league.
We talk about Jews. Oh yeah, Jew
we
agent.
covered, yeah, absolutely.
Koreans,
absolutely.
the Latinos, the blacks.
Check.
Yes.
We've done our job here, people.
And white people. You don't want white people.
You don't want white people.
No, you don't. White agents, white coaches. That's about
Just
it.
a white person.
What's up with the black quarterbacks? I mean, they're on fire right
They're
now.
better than white guys.
Those black quarterbacks are so hot right now.
It's hot right now.
I mean, think about how many black quarterbacks people are like really gaga about. Cam, Kyler, Lamar, Russell, Winston. That's 5.
Jacoby.
Everybody's fucking going crazy for Jacoby. That's 5 guys just right off the top of my head.
All right, so listen.
That's it.
That's it.
Isn't Mahomes got some black in him?
Well, this is what happens when we keep him up past his bedtime. It's time. So
Prescott's another one.
he is.
This is incredible. It's an incredible plethora of them. Good luck to everybody.
Yeah, Dwayne Haskins.
We love you. Hope
might
you.
be joining
Dwayne Haskins. Holy shit.
Stud. All right, so let's go back to what you were saying about.
All right, everybody. We love you.
Good luck, guys. Hope you enjoy it. If not, go fuck yourselves.
Yeah, go fuck yourself early and often.
Championship.